Someone who was raised MAGA, here are the 3 things that made me realize it's a cult so I could get the fuck out. Number 1, the fact that a lot of MAGA members would literally give up their religion if it meant following Trump. A lot of them fully believe that Trump is a savior and that he is like Jesus Christ. And while this is on the extreme end, a lot of them would do whatever he asked of them, and that is shown by how much he gets in donations from these people who don't have a lot to give. Number 2, the way that MAGA discourages free thinking and questions, generally speaking. If you do have a question and you ask anyone in MAGA, they will repeat the same bogus bullshit that is a tagline every single time. For instance, one time I asked what would happen to the immigrants of 20 or 30 years in America who have communities and families here. Would they be deported? And they simply said, anyone who is here illegally has to go. It is such a rehearsed tagline that they don't even actually consider what that would mean in their lives. And number 3, the insane merch and the way that they construct their identity around being a part of this cult. It's their social life, it's their religion, it's everything, it's their way of life, it is who they are, which is way more than a politician should ever be in your life, like, ever.
Stop right there. She just laid out textbook cult behavior in under a minute. Abandoning your religion for a politician? That's worship, not support. Donations from people who can't afford it? That's exploitation. Questions met with rehearsed taglines, anyone illegal has to go, without thinking about families, consequences, reality. That's indoctrination. And building your entire identity around one person, your social life, your religion, your personality, that's dangerous. Doesn't matter which side. The second you can't separate criticism of a politician from an attack on your soul, you've crossed into cult territory. Here's the rule. Politicians are public servants, not saviors, not messiahs. They work for us. The moment you forget that, you've lost the plot. Stay critical, stay skeptical, question everything.
We have some alarming news right now. In an interview with the New York Times, Donald Trump has confirmed that one of his biggest regrets following losing the 2020 election is not having the National Guard seize voting machines in swing states across the country. He told the New York Times that he regretted not giving this order, though he doubted whether or not the National Guard was, quote, sophisticated enough to execute the order effectively. This expression of regret from the president should be a warning heading into the midterm elections and even into 2028. His obsession over these voting machines, especially in swing states where Democrats have won in the past, has not gone away. And if he had it his way, he would have seized the voting machines back in 2020, and who knows what would have happened after that. And he is now openly talking about it more than 5 years later, about that being one of his biggest regrets ending his first term. I'll provide you more updates as we get more information. Spread the word. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news that you need to know about. I'll have more to come soon.
Okay, so the biggest regret isn't the pandemic response, not the economy, not the deaths. It's not using military force to seize voting machines. Let that sink in. He's saying, I wish I'd used soldiers to overturn an election I lost. That's not patriotism. That's authoritarianism with a red hat, and people will hear this and say, yeah, he should have. No evidence, no proof, just feelings and a willingness to burn democracy because their guy lost. If the other side tried this, they'd scream treason. But when it's their guy, suddenly it's protecting America. That's not principle. That's power worship, and it's terrifying.
This guy just yelled in the street, Trump 2024. What makes you love Donald Trump?
If you're truly a patriotic American, how could you not love Donald Trump? If you actually are somebody that does your research and your due diligence as opposed to being pushed by somebody else's propagandist talking points, how could you hate Donald Trump? He's the most popular businessman in American history. If you wanted a movie to be popular throughout all of before 2016, who has the most cameos? I find it funny that as soon as he became a Republican, he became racist. But name me that racist that won an NAACP award. I'll wait. Didn't we have peace around the world when Trump was in office? Why are we in war right now? Oh, and for that daggone bill y'all want to keep talking about the border? Well, y'all were okay with the administration giving $60 billion to Ukraine so they can put 1,500 at the border. Here's something else deeper for you to think about. Didn't they leave millions and millions of guns in Afghanistan unguarded and unattended and left the country? Directly after that, Xi Jinping and Putin came down and gave them legitimacy. Well, what happens after that? Oh, didn't Biden give Putin access to a gas pipeline? And then directly after that, he went to war with Ukraine. And then was it a coincidence that one of our basketball stars got locked up in Russia and we traded her for Victor Boot? So we traded the Lord of War for Brittany Griner with a whole bunch of unattended guns in Afghanistan. That's what you voted for. That's better than Trump. You need to wake up, bro.
This dude just rapid-fired 10 talking points in 30 seconds. Movie cameos, NAACP awards from the 80s, Afghanistan guns, gas pipelines, Brittany Griner. Here's what he's doing. It's called the Gish Gallop. Throw out so many claims so fast that nobody has time to fact-check. It works, if you don't slow it down. So let's do that. Afghanistan withdrawal, negotiated by the previous administration. They released 5,000 Taliban fighters, including the guy now running Afghanistan. But he skipped that part, didn't he? Here's the tactic. When someone's talking fast and throwing facts, slow down. Pick one claim, verify it, watch the whole argument collapse. Because confidence without accuracy, that's just noise. And this applies everywhere. Left, right, doesn't matter. Speed plus volume doesn't equal truth. The truth doesn't need to rush. It can stand still and be examined. Remember that.
Did you hear about the Trump supporter who fucked around and now his wife is finding out? Ciao. Meet Bradley Bartrell and Camila Munoz. Bradley, an American citizen and Trump supporter, voted for Trump knowing two things. Number one, that Trump had ran his presidential campaign with one of the biggest promises being that he was going to crack down on illegal immigrants. And number two, that his wife, who was from Peru, came to America on a work/student visa that she had now overstayed, making her an illegal immigrant. I hate my wife, final boss. I guess Bradley was under the impression that because Camila was working and because she had no criminal record, that she would be safe. But was she safe? Is J-Lo a good singer? Because it's the same answer. So last month, Bradley and Camila were on their way home from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico when an immigration agent pulled Camila aside. They asked Camila if she was a U.S. citizen. She responds no, but her husband and her were taking the steps so that she could one day get her U.S. citizenship. They said, I'm going to stop you right there, because we ain't asked all that. They said, we simply asked, are you a U.S. citizen? You said no, therefore we have a little wedding present for you. Snatched her ass right on up and took her to a detention center. Well, and now Bradley says he regrets his vote for Trump and is calling people heartless because they don't care that his wife now has concepts of housing. I'm going to hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. You are getting exactly what you voted for. Trump was very clear about his plans for people who are undocumented. You knew that your wife was undocumented. What the fuck did you expect? Like, unfortunately, there's been a tariff placed on thoughts and prayers, so I don't have those for you, but I do hope that you continue to get everything you voted for. Also, I'm thinking about having sushi for dinner tonight, so I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that. Hope this helps. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
So Bradley voted for mass deportation, knowing his wife was undocumented. Now she's detained, and he's crying about it. My guy, what did you think deport all illegals meant? You thought they'd make an exception for your wife because she's one of the good ones? Nah. Policies don't work like that. You can't vote for a wrecking ball, then cry when it smashes your house. And now he wants sympathy? He's calling people heartless? Brother, you were heartless when you voted to tear apart other families. You just didn't think you'd be one of them. This is called consequences, and they don't care about your regret. Here's the lesson. Vote for policies that protect everyone, not just the people you think deserve it, because cruelty doesn't skip your door just because you cheered for it.
I am a proud Trump supporter. I am a proud female Somali Trump supporter. And let me tell you why you should be a Trump supporter as well. And you fell for the clickbait. People are dying in Sudan. People are dying in Sudan. There's a genocide happening in Sudan. Women are being raped and then hanged. Children are being raped and then hanged. Men are being killed. The RSF are killing people and we are doing nothing about it. Look, you may not have the money. You may not have the resources to help. But what you can do is post a video about it. Post it on your story. Share it to your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friends, everybody. We need to let the world know that there's a genocide happening in Sudan and no one's doing anything about it. There were women and children, millions of them dying every single day, being raped, being hanged. Soldiers are raping them just for the fun of it and then just killing them. Raping the children in front of the mother and just killing them. It's cruel, it's very cruel, it's torture. It is literally torture and we are doing nothing about it. The world is being ignorant about it. We're not doing anything. Why aren't we doing anything? Guys, please spread awareness about Sudan. Please, just please.
Yeah, that just happened. And honestly, good. We need this disruption because she's right. We'll argue for hours about domestic politics, but won't spend 5 minutes on actual genocide. Sudan, right now, women raped and hanged, children killed in front of their mothers, soldiers committing atrocities for fun, and the world? Silent. No viral campaigns, no celebrity posts. So here's what you can do. Share it. Post it, educate yourself, talk about it, because voices create pressure. Pressure creates action. Don't let silence be complicity. All right, back to the main topic, but don't forget what she just said.
One of your ideals is that women shouldn't be able to vote, idealistically.
Idealistically, we're going to have only landowners, only those that are 25, and the family unit as a whole has one vote.
But what if you don't have a family?
Well, then, you don't have a right to vote.
Do you have a family?
Nope. So I wouldn't have the right to vote.
So idealistically, you don't think that you should have the right to vote?
Yes, I believe that my dad should have the right to vote.
So then
as a representation of the family as a whole.
So then you'd argue, in accordance with your values, you shouldn't vote.
Yep. Right now, I would have the ability to vote in the future.
Okay, but you're arguing that you still shouldn't vote right now because that's what your values tell you.
Yep. And I just turned 18, so I haven't voted at all.
Do you plan to vote in the next election?
I do.
Isn't that going against your values?
That going against the idealism of values.
Right, but like idealistically, I'd like to be the best possible version of myself. And the best possible version of myself is idealistic. Like idealistically, I don't lie. Idealistically, I don't harm. Idealistically, I don't violate the rights of others, so on and so forth. Idealistically, I'm a kind person. Idealistically, I'm generous. And because I hold those ideals, I think that I should try to act in accordance with them to the best of my abilities. So if one of your ideals is that you shouldn't be able to vote, right, I would argue that in day-to-day life, you should attempt to adhere to those ideals to the best of your ability, arguing that the time midterms comes around, in accordance with your own ideals, you shouldn't vote.
Ideally, there'd be a lot of things that I shouldn't do. Ideally, and in society that we are today, ideally, I shouldn't have to,
But is that one of them? Ideally, you shouldn't vote in the midterms.
In the midterms, I don't think that that's an idealistic society. And like we already said, we're not in an idealistic society. Otherwise, we would have all landowners. We would have only landowners, those 25. And
just follow me here. One of my ideals is that I should be kind. So ideally, I should be kind to you right now, right?
What do you mean by that?
One of my goals is to be a kind person. If one of my goals is to be a kind person, I should try to the best of my ability to be a kind person to you right now. Because it's in accordance with my ideals, right?
Well, I think you have an ideals of character and then ideals of the society of how you want it to be. And I do think that we have to...
We should act in accordance with how we want society to be. If I want society to be feminist, okay? If I want society to be inclusive of gay people, if I want society to be inclusive of everybody regardless of their race, that means on a day-by-day basis, I'd be a terrible person and living in contradiction to my values if I were a racist Nazi, if I were a misogynist POS, if I didn't act in my day-to-day life in accordance with those norms, adhering to the values of feminism, adhering to the values of anti-racism, so on and so forth. Therefore, in accordance with this own value that you have of not thinking you should be able to vote, why don't you live your life in adherence to that by simply not voting?
There's the idealism of character. There's also idealism of society. I don't think we should have to be paying for these roads, yet I still drive on them.
Hold up. Let me make sure I understand this. You believe women shouldn't vote, including you, eventually, but you're still gonna vote because society isn't ideal yet? Bro, that's not principle. That's convenience. You can't claim a belief, then abandon it the second it affects you. That's like saying idealistically I'm vegan, but I'm eating this burger because McDonald's exists. And let's talk about the belief itself. Only landowners vote? Only family heads? You know when we had that? The 1800s, before women's suffrage, before civil rights, before we realized everyone affected by laws deserves a say. What if your dad votes against your interests? What if his vote hurts you? Too bad? You don't get a voice? We gave everyone the vote because concentrating power in one group leads to tyranny. We learned that lesson, painfully. Here's my advice. If you hold a belief, live it, own it, or admit it's not really a principle, just a talking point you like the sound of.
Does that make sense? I'm more libertarian. I don't think we have
the thing is that if you want to drive on the roads, you're forced to pay for them, but you're not forced to vote.
I think the Federal Reserve should be abolished, but I still use the dollar.
Right.
That's an idealism in society that I would work towards in the end,
But listen-
not idealism in character.
But here's my question. If you had an easy ability, okay, to not use a dollar, maybe there's something else that you could use instead that didn't impact the quality of your life at all. Would you stop using the dollar because that's your ideal?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it easy for you not to vote?
No, it's not.
So it's not easy to just not show up at the polls?
No, because I knock on a lot of doors, so I'm helping other people vote as well.
So you're Trump supporter?
Yes.
And you're here. Well, what do you think of this
I
whole
was
thing?
a Trump. I feel like there's a difference between a Trump voter and a Trump supporter.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Explain the difference.
Like, listen, I'm an Indian woman. There's nobody who would have loved an Indian woman running for president more than me. But she just wasn't she wasn't the better candidate.
Why do you think that is?
Well, for example, she ran on abortion, which everybody here is for. And that's just a states' rights issue. I don't think that women are losing their rights. I feel like people are acting like we're going to be sent to concentration camps. There is a lot of issues that women have to overcome. Like, for example, why did we get the Bob House? I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Explain for everyone watching the video.
It's a house of of influencers on TikTok who are all my age, like 18 to 20, who bought this mansion together so they could do OnlyFans work together and like promote it on TikTok. Like, how did the US get that before a good female presidential candidate? It's ridiculous.
You're young, and there are a lot of young people who moved to Trump in the last election.
Yes.
Why do you think there were more young people who voted for Trump this time around than in 2020 or 2016?
Yeah, and might I add, I was a die-hard liberal. I thought that being a Republican meant you were a bad person, and I think that young people grew up on this like social media climate that told them that. So when we realized that that actually wasn't true and that that was just a way to garner our votes, it made us really resentful towards the Democratic Party. I don't trust them anymore. And you shouldn't trust either party, but I feel a lot safer with what the Republican Party is becoming than what the Democratic Party is.
As a Trump supporter, being here for a couple of hours, do you think the opposition gets it, or do you think they still don't get it?
Oh no, I was standing with my sign, which I feel like is pretty pro-woman, and I had someone come up to me and like start screaming at me that I need a 50-year-old white woman screaming at the brown girl to leave because the counter protests are somewhere else. And listen, you're not going to get it unless you have open mind. You're just not. And I don't have any hatred towards like anybody here or liberals. I wish we could all come together and have productive conversations, because this isn't a blue-red issue. It's just a women's issue.
What is your biggest hope for the upcoming Trump presidency?
Ooh, I hope that we can make our citizens love America again, because I think people think that when you love your country, it means you can't criticize it. But both can be true at the same time. And for us to move forward on a path that Democrats and Republicans will both like, we all need to love our country instead of hating it.
You can't have both. All right, I'll give her credit. She's thinking, not just repeating lines. She felt lied to by one side, so she went to the other. I get that. Nobody likes being told they're a bad person for their politics. But here's the problem. Rejecting the left's tactics doesn't make the right automatically correct. She says she feels safer. Safer how? Women are dying from sepsis because they can't access care. Families are being separated. Democratic norms are crumbling. So safer? I'm not seeing it. And her point about the Bob House versus female leadership, that's a cultural issue, not political. And electing people who embody exploitation doesn't fix that problem. It makes it worse. Here's the real advice. Don't blindly trust any party. Question both sides constantly. Vote for policies, not feelings. Vote for people who respect democracy even when they lose. Loving your country means demanding it be better, not excusing its failures.
Did y'all see what Joy Ann Reid had to say to MAGA? Watch this.
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority-serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go, every so often I go and lurk and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. You now have a paradise in Florida where you can get sick, cough on people, let them die of whatever disease you're carrying. It's almost like you've got the pilgrims again that can come and cough on all the natives and take them out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You wanted Florida to be that. It's that. You wanted the United States to be Florida. It's that. But yet you all are still so angry. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I don't mean to rant and rave, but I am genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what you all are so angry about. And I think I have a suspicion and I have a guess. What you all are angry about is that while you have gotten everything you wanted on the right, we on the other side won't give you love for it. We won't respect you for it. We won't hail you for it. We won't respect you and say, hey, we want to, have you at the Oscars. We want to fet you. We want to make you guys, we want to wrap our arms around you. You want us to embrace you. You don't just want to run us and tell us what to do and tell us what to think and tell us what to read and tell us what history we can have. You don't just want to tell us what to do. You want us to embrace you. What you really want is to sit at our table.
She just asked the question nobody else will. You have everything you wanted. Why are you still so angry? And it's a perfect question. They control everything. White House, Congress, Supreme Court. They've banned books, ended DEI, rolled back protections. They have it all. So why the rage? Why the constant anger? Here's why. They don't just want power. They want validation. They want the rest of us to bow down and say, yes, you were right. We respect you. We accept your vision. But we won't. Because we don't accept Christian nationalism. We don't accept racial profiling. We don't accept people dying because of ideological cruelty. And that's what kills them. They thought winning would make us like them. It didn't. It just showed us who they really are. Here's the truth. Respect isn't given because you won. It's earned by how you lead. Lead with cruelty, you get resistance, not respect. Simple as that.
You're mad because while you are running the country into the ground, you're destroying your own farmers with tariffs. You're destroying your own farmers by taking away their subsidies that used to go with USAID. You got what you wanted. They've ended the farm subsidies. These are the things y'all asked for. You got your big, beautiful budget. That's what you wanted. Trump gave it right to you. You got your permanent tax cut. You're still pissed because the left, the other side, the majority, we still cannot stand you. We cannot stand Christian nationalism. We don't want it. And because we will not say we want your Christian nationalism, we embrace your Christian nationalism. We like your Christian nationalism. We like you. Because we won't do that, that's why you're still mad. But guess what we're going to keep on doing? We're going to keep on being moisturized and unbothered, and we still not going to like it. We're never going to like Christian nationalism. We're never going to accept it. We're never going to be down with it. And our squad is bigger than your squad at the end of the day. We have the Boricuas. We got the Mexican Americans. They done woke up. They said, whoo, Lord, let's go ahead and go with these folks. We got the spicy whites. The spicy white folk are with us. They're with us. Right? We got the Asian Americans who've woken up and said, whoa, we better be with them. Right? Chinese Americans, they see you. Japanese Americans are like, you're going to do internment again? We see you.
South Koreans
are like, whoa, we see you. Y'all gonna kick the South Koreans out. Now you're going to cry because Georgia's going to have a worse economy because you're not going to get to have the South Koreans teaching y'all to have those high-tech jobs. The South Koreans are like, oh, well, sure hate it. Africa's like, we're just going to do business with each other. We got BRICS. We don't need y'all. Tourists are like, we don't need y'all. The African Americans, the Caribbean Americans are getting together and said, yo, why are we fighting each other? Caribbean Americans are like, yo, we were y'all. We made a hip hop together. Let's go off. And you're mad at us because we do not want to be with you. This America you want, that's yours, y'all. You keep it. We don't want it.
I love me some Joy Ann Reid. She did not mince words. She didn't stumble. She didn't stutter. She was very clear and concise about every fucking thing. And I know MSNBC hates that for her. because they really fucked up letting her go. But why is y'all really mad? Like, why is y'all out here talking about white man fight back, white man fight back? Who is y'all fighting back against? Y'all are making all the decisions on every fucking thing. Y'all got control of the Senate, control of the House, control of the motherfucking White House. Y'all changing all the fucking rules. Why is y'all so fucking mad? America is being ran the way y'all wanted it to be ran. So it don't make no fucking sense that y'all out here huffing and puffing when y'all the ones in charge. Y'all just mad that we never gonna get with y'all program. We don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. We gonna stay over here and do what the fuck we gotta do for our people until we can figure out a way to get y'all the fuck up out of there. But we will never fuck with y'all.
And there it is. You got everything. Why are you still mad? Because they know, deep down, this isn't sustainable. You can ban books, but not ideas. You can deport people, but not demographics. You can silence voices, but not movements. They won battles, but they're losing the war. The majority, not with them. Young people, women, minorities, LGBTQ+ community, not with them. Their coalition, farmers going bankrupt, workers losing jobs, families torn apart by their own policies. Power without support is just borrowed time. And eventually, the timer runs out. Reality always collects. Here's the lesson. You can't hate government, immigrants, and social programs, then expect the system to save you when it collapses, especially when you lit the match. Economics isn't political, it's math. And the numbers, they don't lie. We're watching it happen. Farmers, families, workers, all learning that consequences don't care about loyalty. Drop a comment, hit that like button, subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Peace.
Real quick, by becoming a channel member, you're not just supporting our work. You're helping us amplify voices, fight misinformation, and keep important conversations alive. Membership gives us the strength to keep producing content that matters. Join today and stand with us in shaping a better future.